Here's the thing that makes life so interesting. The theory of evolution claims only the strong shall survive. Maybe so. Maybe so. But the theory of competition says just because they're the strong doesn't mean they can't get their asses kicked. That's right. See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic. So before you step up to the starting line, before the whistle blows and the clock starts ticking, just remember, out here, the results don't always add up. No matter what the stats may say, and the experts may think, and the commentators may have predicted, when the race is on, all bets are off. Don't be surprised if somebody decides to flip the script and take a pass on yelling uncle. And then suddenly, as the old saying goes, we got ourselves a game.
We're live at the virtual Southern National Motorsports Park in Kenly, North Carolina. Every year, while everybody gets done gobbling down turkey and dressing and all the great fixings and desserts, this famed facility nestled off of Interstate 95 in North Carolina in Kenly, in Lacama, prepares for an annual gathering of speed. It normally begins on a Thursday with people coming in, holler parking, and then, of course, the festivities go for 3 long days till the prong longevity ends with the climax of the big late model stock car race on a Sunday afternoon. Well, we have that version of that thanks to iRacing and Elevated TV, CRN. We welcome you to coverage thanks to Irvin Used Auto Parts for the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Virtual Classic. Welcome to the 410th mile Southern National Motorsports Park. I'm Wesley Outland, joined alongside is Cody Deemers. You know, Cody, we've had the privilege of calling this thing over the years, and we've had some pretty historic, crazy iRacing memories along the way. Ready to see what happens for the 2025 edition. Good evening, my friend.
Yeah, glad to be back again, Wesley. You know, this is our 3rd year doing this. It's always fun. We didn't get to do the races on Thursday due to me having to work and snow, and I worked an 18-hour day yesterday. I actually called you at like 3:30 this morning as you were getting set up for an eNASCAR broadcast because I was at work. And, yeah, I mean, this is always fun. You know, usually we're starting this race about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but, you know, we both were dog tired from you calling football games all week and me working all week, so we decided to push it back to 8 o'clock, and we scratched the Thursday and Friday night show, which, like I said, we normally do. But, yeah, I'm glad to be back, and glad to have you back in the booth with us, and it's going to be a good night, and hopefully we'll have some good racing with all 3 divisions.
And I'm not going to lie to you, broadcasting 8 football games or producing 8 football games since Thursday for the last 3 days was definitely tiring. A lot of work, amazing crew of people behind doing what we did, whether it was at the home of the Carolina Tar Heels at Keenan Stadium or at Durham County or even at Hickory at Lenore-Ryan College. But you know, the gratification was to have a great success, and obviously we had discussed if we were going to do the Thanksgiving Classic, and we all were in agreement. And, you know, like you said, I got done calling football, and I had to do an eNASCAR Australia broadcast, I think at like 2 o'clock this morning, America, North Carolina time, which is actually nighttime for them. And that lasted until probably, 8 o'clock in the morning. They ran a 600-mile race at Talladega. But I love short track racing. I like Southern National. The racetrack is always fun. The 0.4 of a mile, 17 degrees of banking. It's just a very unique facility. Obviously, if you ever get a chance to go out to Southern National, I know they fire back up in February with some races. The ZMAX Cars Tour's back and a whole bunch of other great events planned. You know, for the most part, the Diaz family has basically put together a package where you run a couple of months during the winter time and in the springtime, take off during the summertime, and then you bring yourself back around, you know, right before Labor Day, and then the run to the push to the Thanksgiving Classic, and obviously it culminates with this race. So let's take a look on the virtual world here tonight for the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts of what we will have for you this evening. As we mentioned, it's going to be kind of like the Sunday afternoon matinee, if you will, that the Diaz family and Southern National does every year. We'll have a Charger race. That will be a 75-lap event. Caution laps do not count. They'll be given one fast repair in case something happens and they get, you know, virtually badly damaged. They're able to hit that escape or reset button and go back out and go again. In the AI world, no tires will be given, and there will be an attempt of 3 overtimes just in case. Now, the Chargers will be on the card. They're going to be first. They're about to be gridding here in just a moment, and then we'll get ready for also later tonight the Ground Pounders, the 20-lap Ground Pounder race. And I guess, Cody, if we can give a little more of an explanation of what the Ground Pounders will be in that class, because I don't know if they have really actually Southern Ground Pounder cars on iRacing. But then we have, of course, the late model stock cars, and they will go for 250 laps.
Yeah, so the ground planner class is basically a class that I took and made as my own. I've kind of adjusted the modifieds, the super lates, and the late model stocks to basically one class. So you'll see 3 different cars out here, just like you would in a ground pounder class. I mean, you see, old school modified. You see kind of like more of an old school late models. You see kind of more old school, wagons. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Usually the ground pounders consist of 2 divisions, actually, Cody. It is either a modified division or a sportsman division, which is basically, like you said, old type of late model cars or cars from back in the day, the yesteryear, the nostalgia of bringing back the history of the sport. Really cool to see that they do that. They've done that the last couple of years during the Thanksgiving Classic. So I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to seeing what it will be like to see, super late models, modified, and old late model cars on the racetrack here coming up in their 20-lap race. And then, of course, the late model stocks will be fun. Everybody, a couple of weeks ago, it was, of course, my friend out of Forest Hill, Maryland, Mr. Air Doug Barnes Jr. And what a story for this guy, right? Was running for Lee Pulliam. They parted ways at the end of the car store season, kind of like, where do we go? What do we do? He had committed to going to a family engagement. I think it was a wedding, I believe, on that Saturday. So he had to start shotgun on the field in the Thanksgiving Classic a couple of Sundays ago. And he turned around and he went on to win the race over Josh Berry, who actually ended up getting disqualified at Post Tech. And a very fun, interesting race as always. So we'll see what tonight entails, obviously, as Cody, we get closer to getting these guys getting the green flag for this Charger race for 75 laps up first.
Yeah, and while we're waiting on these cars, we're actually going to advance to the session. While we're waiting on these cars, Wesley, I want to put a big announcement out there. This coming Saturday, we have the Snowflake 125 at Five Flags, and then on Sunday we have the Snowball Derby. But I unveiled the logos for them last Thursday, or the last race we done, but I haven't unveiled this logo yet. So last year, me and Wesley kind of thought of a race to do at the end of the year, which was the Race of Champions, the Christmas Clash that Carteret County Speedway does, and we done it at Langley. We done a 250 lap street stock race, and we done a 75 lap mini stock race, and then we done a 250 lap late model stock race too. So, but I want to unveil the logo. This took some time and creativity, but here you go. There is the logo for the Christmas Clash coming up. That'll be, I think, the last Sunday of December, Wesley.
Yeah, I think we're going to plan for that on Sunday, December the 28th. Sunday, December the 28th. And if I remember correctly, I have an all-star, East-West all-star football game to do for the North Carolina Coaches Association next Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. I think we're going to do the Snowflake and preliminaries on Saturday, and I'll be available for that. And then, of course, I think it'll be probably a night game, a nighttime start for the Snowball Derby for what we do for next Sunday. I know nighttime will work better for me than daytime, obviously, because I'll be in Greensboro and, get back in time. I think that's what we had done last year. Matter of fact, I think last year what we did is we actually ran the race on a Saturday night, if I remember. We ran the Snowflake and the other events on the afternoon and then the big race Saturday night. But I think that's our plan. Me and Cody will come together on that, and we'll see what we do. One way or the other, we got to get these big marquee events out of the way. Before I go any further, apologies to everybody for last Sunday. I was committed to working I believe it was the South Carolina 400 event with you guys, and somebody hit a power pole in Smithfield and knocked out the good old Spectrum internet, and I just didn't trust being on a hotspot on a phone, and so unfortunately I decided to bow out of the deal. But nonetheless, let's get the field rolling. This is going to be a 75-lap Charger event here at Southern National. And let's give you your starting lineup. Spencer Allmendinger in car 62. It looks like a Keelan Harvick throwback, if you will, for the KHR Racing Stables. Right there, the Hunt Brothers Pizza Green Machine will be on the pole. Lee Jones on the outside, of course, in that number 80 machine. Got Old Glory on the Realtree entry. James Kirby, Noah Allison will be the orange, and the Pepsi car on the outside. By the way, that's the Pepsi Burger King entry. That's the Pepsi's sugar-free car. And then, of course, we have row number 3, Victoria Sessoms in the 51. Then you've got Dalton Shupp in that very nice purple and white 18 machine, the D&M Properties entry of Dalton Shupp. Row number 4 will find John Riddle in 43, another nice-looking race car. The Boulder entry. Then it's going to be the number 1 of the WX Wiley X Glasses entry. Then you've got John Riddle and Cody Deemers on row number 4. So those are those beautiful-looking cars. Row 5 on the grid, we'll find the double nickel and the Tri-City Towing entry of Jonathan Sessoms, the fireman, followed by Howard Holden in that number 41 car. That's your top 10. Moving on to row number 6, you'll see the Motor City Buick number 17 of Sarah Billiter to the outside. David Hall right there in the number 90 car. Beautiful looking race car again. And on the back row, number 7 finds Dustin Lane, Ryan Deemers, and shotgun on the field there. All right. So the field, we'll get ready to roll. Let's get it going.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And, you know, the Charger races, I think they think they race Saturday and Sunday at the actual Thanksgiving Classic, and put on a really good show. And then that Sunday race was very, very intense. So it's going to be a good one here, 75 laps.
Yeah, it certainly was a very exciting race, and obviously I know that a very great turnout of cars for the Thanksgiving Classic for the 2025 edition, and we're ready to see what happens here on the virtual side of it, right? So Allmendinger and Jones will make up the front row. We'll get ready to pace the field around here.
Time to go, Wesley. We're about to get this thing underway.
Yeah, preliminary action, as we mentioned, the Chargers for 75 laps. I think it's a good, steady amount of cars out there, not a big packed group. We will hopefully see some good racing, not a lot of cautions as the pace car works through that 17 degrees of banking into turn 4, dropping onto the pit lane. Here comes the virtual Thundering Herd down to the line. And the green flag is waving. Thanksgiving Classic race number 1 underway. This again will be the Chargers as Allmendinger and Jones battle stride for stride. All 4. Put that one on the board. Give it to Jones for the lead as they battle back. Allmendinger on the inside in the corner.
Yeah, Jones trying to battle on that outside, trying to make it work. We know here at the actual Southern National Motorsports Park Wesley, they put that tacking stuff to make that outside line work. And you see Lee Jones running that outside line, and oh boy, here comes Dalton Shupp. Thought about going 3 wide, tucks back in, takes better. Jones making the outside work as they work off of forward.
Yeah, that tacky racing additive, if you will, put on the racetrack. A lot of tracks, drag racing, and also at Southern National, other tracks as well. Martinsville, NASCAR's done it at Bristol too. A PJ1 or VHT surface, and Kaizen tried to get something going where it builds rubber up against the outside and performs multiple lanes to try to cause better racing. And right now, for the moment, is Jones on the inside. You got Allmendinger right there up top. Side by side, good racing in the early going as we're working 5 in.
Yeah, it's amazing to see them in turn 1 and 2. I mean, in 3 and 4, they're almost at the top of the racetrack. And here comes Allison. He's looking to stick his nose in the West three-way battle for your race lead.
And there goes that Pepsi Pure Sugar Burger King number 24. Noah Allison's car now trying to make it a 3-car fight for the P1 position as they'll work off turn 4. Dalton Shupp right there now trying to sneak into the mix along with James Kirby in the top 5. Everybody right now comfortably staying in position in line. Top to bottom is now a battle for second goes on in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Allison outside, Jones on the bottom, and that American flag, number 80, working the bottom, hanging tough with that 24, not giving up on it. But looks like Allison's going to make that outside line work, and they're not running as high as they want to start with. Allison checks out, and here comes Pepsi, a 24 of Allison. He's getting clear of Jones, I think, is saving a little bit here on lap number 10.
At my side right now for the time being is right. Allmendinger is currently there in that top spot. Great battle here for second, quietly, single file. as Allison and Jones just try to get nose to tail in line. Behind him is Chupp and Kirby, followed by Victoria on the outside looking into that 51 car. There's a look at Riddle and Deemers and all these drivers right now just trying to jockey for position to get in behind the top 5 and get in line. A lot of laps remaining. Right now they've logged 10 laps around this place, and already it's Allmendinger still leading the way.
Falling out now, and everybody just kind of back up front. Jones still trying to catch Allison, and now it's a chase to catch that 62 of Allmendinger. The chase to reel him in. Don't let him get too far out. You know, Southern National, it's not really a big track, but it's still big enough that if you get too far out, it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. And as soon as the cat can catch the mouse, right now, Allmendinger is the mouse, and he's doing a very good job to keep away from Allison.
Yeah, there's actually quite a history about Southern National. It was built back in the 90s. It was actually configured and constructed and put together by some of the people of NASCAR. Actually, you know, one of the people that was involved in helping make Bristol and Darlington, and they made this track purposely just shy of a half a mile to make it try to mimic what was Bristol Motor Speedway. Obviously, 17 degrees of banking off the corner. I know that number might not sound like a lot, but I'm telling you, ever go to Southern National, climb the 17 degrees of banking, it's pretty banked racing surface, and quickly, as soon as you come off that 17 degrees of banking, you're already right now, again, on the flat of the racetrack on the back straightaway, and the front stretch would actually measures out to 7 degrees of banking. Well, that 10-degree difference is very palpable if you ever hit it on the racetrack. You actually saw from that camera angle, from that angle as well, the way it is from the flat back up to the banking to the corners.
I've actually personally been to Southern National, and the banking you see on iRacing is the banking you see in real life. I mean, it's a spitting image of the banking difference. I mean, I've been to some bank tracks. I've never seen bank tracks way banker than this, but it's definitely a whole lot bigger than this place. This place has got some banking.
I'll be honest with you, iRacing has done a phenomenal job of making it mimic what is Southern National. And I think it's really cool that a track like this just down the road 15 minutes from me is on the iRacing server. But I do think it's time for an upgrade, right? I think it's time to update some of the awesome amenities. Diaz and the family, they just put in a brand new LED flag stand. That was really cool. I saw that at the Thanksgiving Classic, the new LED flag stand I saw on video on social media. In addition to that, they got the new Alex Hayden Broadcast Center, obviously paying respects to one of the lead anchors on the Motor Racing Network and what he did in his career for 30-plus years, starting at Southern National. They named a grandstand, the Lee McCall Grandstands. Obviously, Lee McCall, one of the great drivers of racing in his day, could still drive a car if he had a chance to get in one. But he's one of the guys who does a lot of spotting in NASCAR. And just some of the things that have been updated along the way really show this racetrack for what it is. And it's awesome that they put it on Southern National on iRacing. But I think it's time to let's turn it and do a new upgrade, right? That's an old-looking flag stand. I think of Charlie Rizzo back in that flag stand, or Mike Hare back in the day. We're about 1/3 of the way through, and right now still green with Allmendinger in the lead. And I'll tell you something else too, Cody. I wish we could put all the big fancy haulers in the middle of the infield. It looks scarce to me that you don't see the trackside parking, and you don't see the haulers, and you don't see all of the work in the pit area like you would see at a real event at Southern National on the iRacing server too. But it's cool to see the grandstands back.
Yeah, and it's like almost like Hickory. Hickory on iRacing, they got the haulers and stuff in the middle of the racetrack, and here it's like it's like a bare area in the middle. To me, it doesn't give the track the notice that it deserves. Yeah, you got the pit boxes down there, but instead of pit boxes, put haulers. You know what I mean? Like, you just add something down there other than just the tech building.
It mimics, though, everything of what the track looks like. Obviously, the awnings on the on the suites, the scoreboard, the digital scoreboard in turn 2 that you just called. Yeah, the billboards. I mean, all the things that look just like the real deal. I mean, it's amazing what they've done on iRacing and to put this out here as we're seeing Allmendinger continuing to lead. Now we got a battle going on between the 51 and the 55 for 7th. That's Sessoms and Sessoms battle. That's Jonathan and Victoria going at it down the back straightaway. Little family affair.
Right, husband and wife.
Yeah.
We'll go on board here with Victoria Sessoms and kind of show you the banking. You can just look at the transition. You can see a lot better here. Look at there. Watch the banking here, 102. You can see just look at the elevation of the car.
Oh yeah, you can feel it. You can see the banking, especially. Look at that in this track. For 0.4 of a mile, man, it's fast. Look at, and this is a Charger car, right? This isn't one of the late model stocks. Imagine what they'll be like whenever the late model stocks get out here for the main event for 250 laps. Now that's the gauntlet. Right now, Allmendinger leading the way. We continue to watch the Sessoms family battle stride for stride, side by side with each other now as they work that back straightaway. And it's been going this way, contested for about the last 3 laps.
Yeah, they've been side by side, never giving up. And now there you see Sarah Billiter coming up in there. That's number 17. In this battle. She's right there. Look who's behind him in that 1K. Whoa! Before. Saves it though. Chucks back in line. Complete lap number 40.
A little drift up there for a moment as we're quickly already in the second half of this race. Lap 38 was the halfway mark of this event for race number 1 of the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. And by the way, I want to send a shout out to the B1 bomber, Brenton Irvin, man. I'm so glad he's okay after that crazy flip at the Christmas Clash at Carteret County Speedway yesterday afternoon. Man, that could have been disastrous. A big wreck there in the Legends cars, but he was all right and took a tumble, got upside down. But obviously, big thanks again to Irvin Used Auto Parts sponsoring this event here. And I think it's been the 3rd year they've sponsored our virtual Thanksgiving Classic.
Yeah, they've sponsored it all 3 years. I want to send another big props out there to Chase Singletary. Chase Singletary actually ran over and helped Britton get out of the race car while he was upside down. So, that's just the sportsmanship in the divisions, down there. I mean, everybody knows everybody. Chase Singletary knows Britton. They live right around the corner from each other. It's not about living next to each other. It's about sportsmanship. I mean, a lot of people don't realize when you get inside that race car and you put your helmet on, it's a different ball game. You have those things. And I always tell everybody, my crew chief, I race against him. He helps me set my car up. But when we get on the racetrack, I'm there to beat him. I'm not there to finish behind him. So kudos to him for jumping out of the race car there.
It's just the nature of a driver, right? It's the competitive juices flowing and your friends and then your frenemies. You get on the racetrack and obviously they tighten them belts and it's time to go to work, right? I mean, we hear the expression sometimes, I'll wreck my mom to win the race, or I'll do what I need to do to win. Obviously, Southern National is a very technical racetrack, right? It's 70 feet wide width of racing room at 0.4 of a mile. You might have to fight and muscle your way for a couple of positions. We see this battle now, and that's what I'm talking about. Look at this right here. 55 and 17 almost getting together. Sessoms and Billiter. And Billiter just got moved out of the way. She's up in the marbles, if you will. And now she's going to get bypassed about 2 or 3 cars on the inside going into the corner.
Yeah, and you knew, I seen it coming. She kept chopping the nose of the 55. And, give and take, and give and take, and give and take. You're not going to give and take. You're not going to get that. Somebody's going to, they're not going to take that. They're going to give it to you. And just like that. But he didn't wreck her. He nudged her. And to me, nudge is racing. So just regroup, get yourself back in there. 31. It looks like she's going to clear him right here. Whoa, she's going to do it again. Puts him on the apron.
Yeah, thought about making that move. There's Holden's car now under attack by the one machine also. All this happening with Cody Dealer's filter. Now on the racetrack, because we're under 25 laps to go now. Under 25 remaining. It's been all Spencer Allmendinger leading the way. There's Allison, Noah Allison's car. And that Pepsi Pure Sugar, Real Sugar, Burger King entry. I love the colors of that car, by the way. It's just a sharp-looking machine. And this race has gone by rather quickly, right? I mean, we're 14 minutes in race time in the sim for this event. 75 laps of distance, and already under 20 laps remaining now. It's Allmendinger, and there's Allison, first and second. There's the 17 back in the 9th position. All of this on the racetrack again as they complete lap after lap, knocking them out fast here at Southern National. Coming up, the ground pounders. They're going to go 20 laps. We heard a description of how they will run, a mixture of the old cars with modifieds, late models. They're going to be coming up. And then, of course, the big one, the 250 lapper for the late model stocks. Of course, Southern National is now URA, Ultra Racing Association sanctioned. These late model stocks, I think, are under the NASCAR rule book on the creativity. Actually, I think the Cars Tour, but nonetheless, 15 to go as they are closing in on the finish of this Thanksgiving Classic race number 1. As right now, Allmendinger is picking up lap traffic up ahead. High, low, inside, outside, picking them off one by one as they work their way back to the stripe. We're closing in on under 15 to go. What a run, Cody, by the driver, the number 62 Hunt Brothers Pizza Chevrolet of Spencer Allmendinger.
Yeah, and I want to point out that Noah Allison actually won the Charger last year of the Thanksgiving Classic, so he's looking to go back-to-back here, and he's got 13 laps to do it, and he's got a lap car in between him and Allmendinger, and he's got to close that gap even more to seal the deal. 12 laps to go. You're still out front, but Allison, he's still within striking distance. All it takes is one mistake, and Allison can win this when we go back-to-back.
Time is running out as well. Working out 12-11 to go. Laps flying by. Already 15 minutes gone in this race. And listen, Cody, we like them like this, right? They caution free. We saw some good racing. Obviously, Allmendinger fighting his way to get through the lap traffic, but this 75 lapper quickly coming to an end here.
Yeah, and Allison's there, Wesley Outland. He has caught your race leader with 9 laps. The question is, can Noah Allison get around the 62? And I'll tell you this, the one car has held up the 62 big time. That's helped Allison. But as Wesley Outland has always said, it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to go to the outside and pass him.
Now you're exactly right, and we're going to see if Allison can try to go back-to-back in the Chargers of the Thanksgiving Classic. He won it last year. Right now, he is just trying to find his way to set his sights to make the move on Allmendinger. Allmendinger now got Allison on the right elbow. Right now on the passenger right side. He's right there with him. It's now going to be Allmendinger staying down on the inside. They're stride for stride. If Allison can get up there to the line, 6 laps to go. Time is running out. Now the lap machine has got away from these guys. It's the green and the yellow car to battle it out for the Thanksgiving Classic opener. To the line. 5 to go, Cody, this time by all 4.
Yeah, lap times are identical, Wesley Outland. 15.04 to a 14.99. I mean, you can't get no closer than that. Oh, Allison almost comes across the nose of Allmendinger. still leading 62. But Allison going to be the new race leader here with 4 laps to go. Got to wonder if the 62 burned his race tires up.
Yeah, Allmendinger now really off the pace of the Hunt brothers. Will Tree, entry 62, losing ground. He's now possibly going to be under attack for third place driver Dalton Chubb battling for second. Meanwhile, Noah Allison at the Pepsi Real Sugar Burger King 24 is in stealth mode. He's hit the lifters and afterburners and gone. 2 to go as they work the back straightaway. His Chevrolet now cleared by about half a second on Allmendinger. Allmendinger now comfortably holding off Chubb. W Energy, white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. He won it last year. He did it in dominating fashion. Had to change it up this year, but at the end, he leads on the money lap. Noah Allison back-to-back at the Thanksgiving Classic. He wins in 24. Allmendinger will have to settle for second after having a very strong run. Dalton Chubb made an effort to run down Allmendinger, but ran out of time. He'll settle for the podium in the Charger portion of the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic, presented by Urban Used Auto Parts, here at the virtual iRacing Southern National Motorsports Park.
What a race that was right there. Come down to the end. That's always exciting when they come down to the last 3 or 4 laps. You know, and look at the rubber, Wesley Outlet. Oh my goodness.
The build-up. Oh yeah. That's the key there, right? That rubber build-up, laps made around the racetrack. Oh, look, old fireworks from the Diaz show over there in turn number 2, and yeah, he's not against having big fireworks shows, big pyro shows, car shows. I've seen promotions for mudsling events and more. Put it on your calendar. Check it out if you get a chance to next year. What?
Didn't they build a dirt track over behind the turn 4 over there in that little old parking lot or whatever?
I mean, I'm not going to speak or comment or speculate. You need to probably talk to Michael Diaz himself or Mason, but I know they've done some mudslinging events, mud bogging events, and obviously they've done some trucking car shows and import shows, not only with the racing, but I know there was a discussion one night that I was at Wake County where they were talking about Southern National putting in a dirt track. So maybe there is one that's up there out of turn 4. The place is beautiful, plenty of land, and obviously the Thanksgiving Classic is in the books for race number 1. Noah Allison will pick up the win. Let's take a look at the results in a race that lasted under 20 minutes. Noah Allison over Spencer Allmendinger. He had a strong car, just was not able to finish in the end. Dalton Chubb finished in the 3rd spot. Those are your podium drivers on the trio. Then it's Josh Kirby, Lee Jones, your top 5. Riddle me this, John Riddle and Victoria Sessoms midway through the pack there, Cody, the top 7 finishers.
Yeah, Jonathan Sessoms comes home in the 8th position after a hard-fought battle there with Victoria and Sarah. David Hall comes home in that 10th position, and then Howard Holden, Dustin Lane, and myself round out the top 13-car field.
By the way, when it's all said and done, 75 laps, no cautions whatsoever. A very clean and green but exciting event there when it's checkered flag. Here's a look at that blue line soft wash race recap, and there it is. Couple of lead changes, swapping back and forth between Allison and Allmendinger. But when it was said and done, Noah Allison methodically, patiently, quietly waited for the time to strike, made it work, and he picks up the win. We're going to step away from virtual Southern National at the Thanksgiving Classic and take a break from Kinley. When we come back, we're going Ground Pounders Racing. Wait to see what these look like. Don't close your eyes. Don't blink. It's 20 laps. It could be over in a flash. And the big late model stock car 250 lap race is right around the corner. Stay with us. Urban Used Auto Parts coverage of the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic from virtual Southern National Motorsports Park continues after these words.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN. Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back to Southern National Motorsports Park. It's the third annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. Cody Deemers, I'm Wesley Outland, and we are getting ready now for the Southern Ground Pounders, the penultimate race before the big late model race coming up next as the field is gritting. How cool is this? I can't believe you pulled it off here.
Hey, listen,
Cody.
you seen me pull off the Weenie 500, and
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
we pulled off the Ground Pounders. It's always fun. It's gonna be an awesome race. These guys is interesting, I should say. You say 20 laps, okay, it's not gonna be nothing. It's gonna be interesting. I'll tell you that.
20 laps. Let's take a look at the starting lineup with Ryan Deemers on the pole and Brandon Varney making up on the outside of row number 1. I think we're waiting on Deemers. Row number 2 will find the driver of Ronnie Williams in that 50 modifieds and late model cars, or sportsmen's, if you will. Then it's going to be Greg Mining right there in the number 8 machine, Performance Unlimited entry. Ronnie Williams, I'm sorry, it's Stephen Kopkick. Stephen Kopkick there, and followed by the 301 with Jimmy Page in the 000. Our move on to row number 4. Got the 11 of Blake Custer. To his outside, another Cassius Clark entry in the King Racing number 13. One of the guys from the Northeast, Cassius Clark. Ben Rowe, another guy from Oxford Plains in the past series, ready to roll. And to the outside, Jeremy Wharf right there, or Jeremy Wharf, my apologies. Jeremy Wharf in the 00 machine for the Mid-Coast Excavating entry. Right now, William Lahr right there in the Laurie Motorsports 55. To his outside, the Window World number 81 of Dan Winter. All right, here we go now to the final row. You'll find now a couple of modifieds with Frank Latoli Jr. and Jonathan McKennedy. Shotgun on the field. There they are. Like lions, tigers, and bears, we've got sportsman modifieds on the high banks of Kenley. Oh, my. Let's get it started. 20 laps as they'll begin to roll. Cody, this should be a good one.
Yeah, these are always fun, I'll tell you that. The first time I ever did these races, I was like, I wonder if this is even going to work. And a bunch of my buddies, we got in Discord, and we threw some stuff together and we adjusted and played with, and you're in for a treat, I tell you that. All I can tell you is the modifieds coming from the back to the front is the most interesting part, but the sportsman's always coming from. I actually used to do this with the late model stocks, because obviously you can't use a vintage sportsman on here, but I used to do the late model stocks, so they just weren't. The modifieds and late model stocks weren't good, so I added the supers to act as the sportsmen's. We've done a lot of adjusting, we've done a lot of tuning, we've done a lot of messing, and now we've got our elevated ground pounders. Coming to green.
The elevated ground pounders. Lights off on the pace car. Ladies and gentlemen, a mixture of the modifieds and the sportsman late models. Take a listen, we're green. As we send them on their way for 20 laps. This should be a fun one. Open wheel or sportsman, who's going to prevail first? Right now, William jumping out for the whole shot in the early going. 19 already to go. Cop kick right there in that number 2 spot, Custer. And remember, there's going to be a winner for the sportsman and the modifieds when this race concludes. We'll have 2 winners in this event, kind of like with the Southern Ground Pounders. And look at this, trying to go right up the middle of a couple of late models. It's a modified. Hang on, 00, Page.
I knew it was going to be interesting, and here comes the modifieds. There's 2 or 3 of them back there that are trying to work their way around these sportsmen. And just like you see with the ground pounders in real life, the sportsmen are hanging with the modifieds for a little bit. But here comes the modifieds back on the outside of the sportsmen.
Making a good run for it right now. The modifieds just have a little bit more oomph in the motors than these sportsman cars do, but it's all about handling and technical stability and hitting the right setup. And right now we're seeing these sportsman cars battle stride for stride with the modifieds right there up top. Modifieds on the high side, cars, sportsman's on the bottom. That's Williams and Kopkick, followed by Custer and Page. Varney looking on, and another car with Ben Rowe also as they work into turn number 3.
And there goes the modifieds. They're prevailing, and the modifieds actually have the battle for the race lead here. Kopkick trying to catch Williams there. That's Ronnie Williams. 3-car breakaway here. It'll get interesting when these cars get back to the back of the field because they'll catch these sportsmen really, really quick.
Yeah, all of that great racing going on with McKennedy and Varney and Mining and Rowe was in the middle of the top 10, but modifieds are gone. Williams, Kopkick, and Custer in their own little world right now. There's, of course, Page now back to 4th. Leah Tolley there in the junior car, too, on the back straightaway. And believe it or not, they've already completed 10 laps. I told you before we went to break, don't blink, don't close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. We're halfway home, Cody.
Yeah, and you got Coke looking to the inside of that Ronnie Williams, that 50 machine. There's not enough bump to get to him. And 9 laps to go. Coke going to try to get back to the back bumper of him. And I think we're going to run into lap traffic. And I think lap traffic's going to put a toll on these 3 modified right here. You don't count your chickens till your eggs hatches. I think how they said it, Wesley Allen.
Yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch. And right now, guys like Morf and Winter and Clark are way off the pace. They're about 11, 12 seconds behind the leaders of Williams. And like you said, Williams and Kopkick continue to battle for the lead. Here comes Kopkick trying to move around some lap machines now, and a battle for the lead as well. Kopkick and Williams going for the lead. It's Kopkick now to the top spot. Williams and Custer battle to run down the leader. It's a 3-car battle. 3-horse race for the mods for the lead, and lap traffic with Sportsman up ahead now with 5 to go.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get interesting because if you're Williams or you're Custer, you got to be patient. But if you're Kopkick, you got to go. So because you got 2 hungry animals behind you trying to get around you, but these sportsmen are going to make it hard. And you're coming to 4 to go, Wesley Outlet. There is no time to mess around here.
Yeah, Kopkick right now just trying to hold off the likes of the mod squad behind him as it's been all modifieds on the sportsman cars. Kopkick and Williams and Custer right now on the podium, 1, 2, and 3, but there's the sportsman entries. A couple of lap machines of Winter and Wolf up ahead. We're 2 laps to go as Kopkick finding a way to get around, go up high, find a clear. 2 for 1, white flag, W Energy. 1 to go, another flag to flag. Ground Pounders, 20-lap race with Sportsman, Modifieds. Oh my, at the Thanksgiving Classic. Kopkick off. It's going to be Stephen Kopkick off turn 4, and Kopkick's going to win here at the Thanksgiving Classic. A very fun rendition of these Southern Ground Pounders, iRacing style, the elevated Ground Pounders. And there is Stephen Kopkick, the overall winner in the modifieds, and Brandon Varney finishing 7th, first, however, in the sportsman race. There you go. There's your 2 winners, as we mentioned.
So what do you think about that, Wesley Outlet?
I mean, you know, the mad scientist, Mr. Cody Deemers, prevails again. Now we need to get the Weenie Mobiles racing around Southern National. Well, that would be funny.
You're right.
You know.
Yes. If you haven't seen
get the Wiener Mobile,
the
Oscar Mayer.
The mad scientist, as Wesley calls me, the first time I ever done anything is the Weenie 500, where Wesley said, I told Wesley we were having a Weenie 500, and he said, "What in the heck is a Weenie 5? What have you got up? Best race you ever saw, and you need to go watch it."
Yeah, it was fun. It was very unique. I enjoyed it, and I when you told me you were doing it, I was like, okay, how are we going to pull this off? But it was a funny one. I think if you put up like a highlight races of the year for Elevated, I got to think that that's probably going to be the number one. No doubt about it. Maybe close second would be You Reckon Your Wife in the or your fiance at Slinger Speedway in the middle of the figure 8 race. So here's a look at the results of the Southern Ground Pounders Sportsman Modified event. The Modifieds reign supreme. Stephen Kopka gets it done with the Northeast drivers in the 301 over Blake Custer. Ronnie Williams third. Frank Liatoli, Jimmy Page, Jonathan McKennedy, all in modifieds, might I add. The top 6 there. Then it's Brandon Varney, the Sportsman winner. Greg Mining, Ben Rowe, Cassius Clark, your top 10. We'll finish it out with a couple of drivers fighting to stay at the tail end or a lap down of William Lowry, Dan Winter, and Jeremy Wharf. The finish of the race, 20 laps, another caution-free event. I mean, that race was done in less than 5 minutes. We're taking a break. When we come back, the big one, the Thanksgiving Classic 250 lap traditional virtual late model race. The real boys of URA and their bad toys did it a couple of weeks ago at Kenley, won by Doug Barnes Jr. Will he be in the field? And other guys, we're going to find out. The 250 lapper on deck when we come back from Southern National. This is the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. Back to Kenley and the big race next.
Community
Blue Line Soft Wash is a veteran-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing integrity and precision to exterior cleaning. Founded by a retired law enforcement officer, and we proudly back the men in blue. Blue Line Soft Wash upholds the values of service, commitment, and attention to detail in every job. Trust Blue Line Soft Wash to protect and enhance your property with the same dedication they once gave to protecting our community. Protect and serve. Protect your car with Blue Line Soft Wash today.
Southern National Motorsports Park on iRacing. It's coverage of the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. As the drivers are finishing up with their qualifications, you're not seeing it, but these guys are finishing up with their times, and they are trying to, well, at least one car, single file, you can see on track. But, Cody, this will set the lineup, and obviously we're ready to see what these guys will do as they get ready to battle for 250 laps at Southern National, 0.4 of a mile, 17 degrees of banking of the corner, 7 degrees on the straightaway. Here's a look from an aerial view of the track from turn 3 and 4. Beautiful layout off of Newsom Mill Road in Kenley, and obviously there's a look at the race information. It is a late model stock car, race car on the server. for the details, 1 fast repair. You're given 2 sets of tires, 3 attempts at overtime if need be for a green right checker. Caution laps do count for this race. I want to emphasize on that. Caution laps do count. 250 laps is the distance. There you go, Cody. That's the lineup. And that's the way it'll shake out here as we'll get ready in a few moments to get this thing going.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, that's for sure. And qualifying is just coming to an end, and 21 cars, all because iRacing. We've had the struggles of, and Wesley knows this too. When we get up to about the 28, 30 cars, 40 cars, the server starts lagging and hitching because there's so many cars on the track at one time, and then it's such a small space. So we can find them to about 20 or 21 cars, and it's going to be a good one, that's for sure.
Well, let's cue up a little instrumental music. Do we have some lineup music we can cue up, Maestro? Let's get ready to introduce the starting lineup. We're going to go from the back of the pack and move to the front. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, 21 drivers ready to roll. Here is the starting lineup for the third annual Thanksgiving Classic, presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. That is a real sponsor, by the way. Thanks again to Brent and Irvin and his awesome family for what they do sponsoring this event. They've done it for the last 3 years, and obviously big thanks to everyone else we have as sponsors as well. As we'll get ready to get this field gridded, we're going to go from the back to the front.
Can you hear it? You can't hear it, but they should be able to hear it.
Let's get the starting lineup started, ladies and gentlemen, from the back to the front. We move in to the 21st position on the grid, and there is the factory canopies, number 71 machine. There's the driver, the white Chevrolet. That is going to be Jake Bowman. Jake Bowman in the 71. Moving on to row number 10 in the 20th position. There he is, the winner of the real Thanksgiving Classic last a couple of Sundays ago. From Forest Hill, Maryland, to the Barnes Paving Air Doug Barnes YouTube channel, number 88. It is Doug Barnes Jr. To the inside in the number 8 machine. Ready to go. That's Connor Waddell in the C.R. Phillips FFMD Chevrolet. To his inside, moving on to row number 9 in the 18th position, Alex Meggs. That's a very well-known name in the AK Performance Legends late model world. Ready to roll to the inside, Mr. Lopez. And that's, of course, the Lopez Motorsports Motorcraft Valaris entry number 10 of Eloy Falcon. Next row, moving on to row number 8, Carson Hayslip, the driver, of course, right there with the Hayslip family, Wake County Speedway late model champion for NASCAR Regional, ready for roll from Raleigh, North Carolina. To the inside is going to be the driver. The number 71, that's going to be Parker Eatman, a former winner of the Thanksgiving Classic from a couple of years from Wilson, North Carolina, the vetted Southern Bank entry 71. To the inside, rolling on with the lineup in the row 7, 14th position, Cameron Bolin in the number 67 Jeff Foltz Motorsports color, the Salty Dog Cafe sponsor entry. And then it's the 05 to his inside, Mason Bailey, one of those drivers from the Commonwealth of Virginia. What a talented young man in the 05. We move on now to row number 6, a multi-time champion of the Z-Max Cars Tour and more. The driver out of Madison, North Carolina, that is Bobby McCarty in the Mustang number 6. Black Acid Racing Apparel entry to the inside. It is the Eagle number 4 on the grid. Cade Brown, originally from Texas, now in Charlotte, North Carolina, a former champion of the Florence Motor Speedway late model division. His Ford is ready to go. Then we move on now to the top 10 starters. He returned to the Thanksgiving Classic in a race, had a pretty good solid finish a couple of weeks ago. Lee Pulliam Performance Boss Man, indeed, ready to roll in that number 88 machine for Junior Motorsports. Obviously, that is Lee Pulliam. To the inside is the car number 62, and that is the son of Kevin Harvick. That's the young man building his legacy in the Kevin Harvick Racing entry. Easy Go Hunt Brothers Pizza, number 62. And that, of course, is Keelan Harvick. We move on to the next row. Did I lose you?
Yep, you're right there. You're on the 04.
Okay. We move on. I'm sorry, my video froze.
Oh.
We move on to the next position. It's going to be on the outside of row number 4 in the 8th position from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Beesmer Tire and Auto Toyota. The driver, of course, of Ronnie Bassett Jr. from NASCAR to late models to even the New Year's Bash at Dillon. That race is coming up in a few weeks. I'll be on the call with Alan Dietz for that in South Carolina. He sat on the pole for that race a few years ago. To the inside from one of the greats of Raleigh, North Carolina, knows this place very well. The John West Racing Engines, Perrier Tank Lines, number 80 machine. Keep an eye on him. The 08, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be Deke McCaskill. Deke McCaskill in that car. We move on now to row number 3 in the number 6 position. Car number 44 from the Commonwealth of Virginia. That is the Family Utilities, also Jones Utilities entry of the 44 of Connor Jones. To his inside, moving on to the number 5 position from in South Carolina, representing the PD region, the 51 Aaron Sells Leeson Reynolds entry, former champion at Florence Motor Speedway. That is Mad Max Cox. Moving on to row number 2 in the 4th position, another young driver from the Commonwealth of Virginia near the Langley area in Hampton, the Metter Engineering Motorsports number 00. How about it there for Chase Burrow? Keep an eye on this hot shoe. And his inside, Cody Bryant in the 08 Black Machine. No sponsors, but keep an eye on the Rocket there. He'll start in the 3rd position. And on the front row, ladies and gentlemen, the Reedsville Rocket son. Of course, Jason York is dad. Jamie York is the son in the 1J entry from Reedsville, North Carolina. And we'll watch and see from the pole from Statesville, North Carolina. Never count this guy out. I've known him for a long time. It is the Leisure Time Rentals number 15 Chevrolet of Ryan Millington. That is the starting lineup. Are we going to have Invocation, National Anthem, Cody? Is that all on the way, or
Yep, we got
are we just going to fire them? Nope. All right. We are going to pause for opening ceremonies, as we always do before the big races. Stand by. The 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic. The Command is next after we have pre-race ceremonies.
Dear God, as we are gathered here this evening to celebrate these gentlemen, shake and bake like Ricky Bobby, help us to remember we also have a race that we must run. Help us to also shake and bake. Stress, some days depressed. Help us to remember we are blessed, we must shake and bake. Heartache, heartbreak, you have used it all for our breakthrough. Help us to shake and bake. And on the days where it's hard to get up out of bed, help us to remember those famous and faithful words. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing. For your glory, by your grace. In Jesus' name I pray, and all of God's children said, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet a-wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.
I want to send a couple of shout-outs to some folks that are actually watching the race. I'm understanding that the promoter, owner of Southern National Motorsports Park himself, Michael Diaz, is checking out the virtual third annual Thanksgiving Classic, and the sponsor of the race as well, Brenton Irvin and the Irvin Used Auto Parts family as well, is watching the race as a sponsor. We thank them for 3 years of service, and obviously look forward to seeing what the 25th real Thanksgiving Classic will entail for next year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
I was just
time.
I was just going to say.
Go ahead, Cody.
I send my condolences out to Britton for. I know he's okay and stuff, but I'm sure he's pretty sore after that flip last night. So we're all here, Britton.
Yeah, he's fine. Thank goodness the cars in the Legends world done their job, and obviously, again, he took quite a tumble there when I was watching. I was actually calling football, and I was able to see what happened there at Carter. The race was supposed to have been Sunday, and then they decided to move it to Saturday, and I know that really changed a lot of people's plans. I was actually planning to go there on Sunday, but, when that changed, I said, okay, well, anyhow, with that said, we're ready for the command. Maybe next year we can get Diaz or Urban to join us on Discord or in the virtual sim to help call the start, but nonetheless, I will have to have that pleasure. Drivers, start your engines. And the engines will fire up. 250 laps. Listen to that. Such sweet virtual thunder as the field will begin to roll. We're ready to settle this thing here. In case you didn't know, Southern National Motorsports Park, located off of I-95 in Kenly, Lucama, North Carolina. Check it out. You ever put it on your schedule for 2026? I know they got things going on in February, Speed Week, and more. Ryan Millington and Jamie York are on the front row, as we already gave you that starting lineup. Cody Bryant, Chase Burrow for row number 2. 250 laps as the third commencement of the Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts is about to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, 250 laps is coming to green right now. Pace cars in. It's time to virtually rock, roll, and rumble in Kenly. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. Lap 1 in, 2:49 to go. And it's Millington to lead him in the opening go, but not for long, Cody. He is battling monsters to his left and right elbow going to 3.
Yeah, York not giving up a battle on the outside, making the outside make the bottom work. And York going to throw it across to Millington, going to give it to him. Burrow comes back to the outside. Looks like the outside line is where you want to be, Wesley Outland. But remember, we're only on lap 3 of 250. We've got 248 laps to go here before we crown a winner. So got to be patient. You do get 4 sets of tires, so that's a good goal there in the
pride out of Reidsville, North Carolina, the son of Jason York, the Reidsville Rocket. Jason York's son, it is Jamie leading the early going. Led off the opening lap by Millington, got around him, hasn't looked back yet. We're just getting started with 5 in. Want to remind you, they can really knock off laps fast around this 4/10 mile bowl that is the Kinley Southern National Motorsports Park. 4/10 of a mile, 17 degrees of banking, 7 degrees on the straightaway, 70-foot wide racing surface, and they will use every inch of this racetrack layout to knock out every lap in under 14 seconds as they work off 4, Cody.
Yeah, the laps will go down. You'll think you're on lap 8. Before you know it, you'll be on lap 100. So it's definitely going to go by fast. And you're noticing something too a lot different with these cars. And you seen the Charger race earlier, Wesley. It was a single file race. I mean, we didn't have no action to the end. You see here, out the racetrack. I mean, you got a group of cars here. You got a group of cars at the start. I mean, there is cars everywhere.
Yeah, pick a spot, right? Pick an angle. Great racing going on all over with Jamie York in the lead. Chase Burrow from Virginia second. Millington third. Ryan and Cotton right now. Your top 5 with all these guys. And they just right now just work to get in line. There's that strategy. Remember, if they get in a crash, they're going to have a fast prepare. But the key is right now to just find a place, drive, get in line. Patience is key. As Carson Hayslip, Wake County Speedway legend, late model champion, on the high side from Raleigh. He ran the Thanksgiving Classic this year. He battles a multi-time Cars champion of Bobby McCarty to his left elbow. And here comes now the 67 of rolling on the inside out of 2.
There you see the 6th car of Bobby McCarty. On the bottom there you see the 18 of Meggs on the outside, working the top of this. Meggs, 2 wide, double filing. This is a big gaggle of traffic here in the back.
You're about to allow Texas driver Cade Brown to get in the mix. That's that orange and blue and white number 4 on the bottom, originally from Texas, now in North Carolina. Former champion of the late models at Florence Motor Speedway, working on turn 4. What a job by Cameron Boland to now stay and thread the needle on the inside, hold off Brown, hold off the likes of everyone else around him. And now he's going to set his sights on Cade Brown bowling wheel. Cameron Bowling work back into the corner. Listen to the rumble of those engines as they thunder down the back straightaway. Such perpetual virtual thunder. Remember, the real Thanksgiving Classic is celebrating a silver anniversary in 2026 next year, the 25th annual.
I remember the last Thanksgiving Classic I went to was in 2014, and it was so cold, Wesley, out there that we had to stand around the burn barrel. Travis Miller, we raced on Saturday. He raced the mini stocks, and he won that night, but it was so cold. We literally had to stand around burn barrels.
Yeah, that's the Achilles heel of the Thanksgiving Classic that the Diaz family have to fight every year, right? Or any racetrack for that matter. It could be sunny and 75 in November, Thanksgiving week, and then the next thing you know, one day it's a great day for practice. The next day you're stacked up like sardines around a burn barrel or one of those heaters to try to find warmth, if you will. Trackside parking, you're not seeing it full on the iRacing simulation of it, but this place is normally slam full with vehicles. Trackside parking sells out, and obviously normally Sunday is always a big crowd for the big race that you're watching right now. Took a couple of weeks to get our schedules together to make it happen, but here it is, that 3rd annual event, our Thanksgiving Classic presented by Urban Used Auto Parts. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, 25 laps about to be completed, 2:25 to go, and now Virginia's Chase Burrow leads the cavalry over Jamie York out of 2.
Yeah, you were just watching that battle there. Burrow working his way to the outside, and it's amazed me that we have seen the outside work here all night long. And Wesley Outland, I'm wondering if it's got something to do with that track tip being 78 degrees and that air temp being 67. I mean, usually you're not seeing cars passing that outside. Normally if you get on that outside, you're going to the back. It's like you're on a choo-choo train, but you're on the struggle bus. But not here tonight. You're seeing cars go and pass on the outside.
Yeah, you're exactly right. By the way, but last couple of weeks ago, The real Thanksgiving Classic was fighting 30 degrees at night, and then I think they were in the upper 40s for the big race on that Sunday afternoon. So, you never know what, like I said, the weather is going to be like. And obviously, even in the virtual sim, track temp is only at 78 degrees. Sim temp, the temperature is 66, 67 degrees. That's comfortable for November standards, if you will. As right now, we see Burrow continuing to hold on to this top spot. Jamie York, Ryan Millington, Cody Bryant, Max Cox, all there in the top 5. The smart thing we're doing here, closing in on 30 completed, 220 to go, is just be patient, stay in line, ride and drive, try to just fill your car out here in this opening stage. Hey, here's what's coming next. By the way, don't forget, December 15th, that's on Monday night. It's the Rolling Thunder Elevated Dirt Derby. That'll be tomorrow night, I guess, at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
and that will be...
we had to reschedule it for this past Thursday due to some work issues for me. I'm the only race control. So we actually talked about it and we pushed it. So we'll have 2 races this week. So we'll have a Monday night and a Thursday night race.
The Rolling Thunder Catawba Valley 125. I might be able to join you for that race on Thursday night. I think my schedule's actually pretty clear until basketball on Friday and football on Sunday. And then, of course, don't forget next Saturday, I think, will be the Snowflake 125. And I think next Sunday, probably 8 or 9 o'clock is when we're going to do the Snowball Derby, virtual Snowball Derby. So, and what a fun race that was. Controversial, right?
Yeah.
Felt bad for Kai Majeski, but I got to say this. I felt like maybe race control got it wrong. I mean, the first time, yes, he jumped. He did. He admitted it. He jumped. Second time, he's the leader. He fires. And I know that there's no way of being able to, I know he said I'm going to file a form of protest, right? But you can't protest a race call, right? I mean, it's not like tech, if you will, Cody. What happens in real time when the race directors make the decision is what it is, right? There's no way you can say, well, I'm going to say I'm protesting this race. I mean, he could boycott it. He could not run again, but what good would that do? I mean, I think the biggest thing is they need to maybe look at they need to start looking at a possibility of possibly rethinking the restart order or restart box or procedures or whatnot. And I hate it because, man, Ty Majeski had a great run last Monday afternoon, Cody. I mean, I don't know if you got to see it or not, but he was running away with it. And then, obviously, what happened to him gave the win to Stephen Nasse. And look, Stephen Nasse, another great guy, known him for many, many years. Glad he finally won the Snowball Derby as well, but it had to happen with some controversy. But nonetheless, big congrats to the Pinellas Park, Florida driver of Classy or Nasty Stephen Nasse getting the Tom Dawson Trophy finally in his mantle. And obviously, Doug Barnes Jr. winning the Thanksgiving Classic a couple of weeks ago at Southern National. Right now, if we want to watch him on the Sim World, there's the Barnes Paving Air Doug YouTube 88. And the Forest Hill, Maryland driver is currently in the top 10, climbing from the rear of the field, if you will. Shades of kind of what he did in the real race, Cody.
Yeah, he started dead last in the real race, won the thing. He started one spot short of dead last in this one, and he has worked his way up to 15th. So definitely going to be good. And I'm actually getting word from Race Control Wesley Outland. They have made it to a stage race. It's going to be a stage break at lap 100, a stage break at lap 200, and then we're going to have a 50-lap stint to the end. So that's going to change things. I didn't know nothing about that, and Race Control just told me that.
Oh, so we're on the fly here, Race Control. So we're going to have it broken down in stages, basically 2 100-lap stages and then a 50-lap shootout, like a good old Saturday night battle in Kinley, if you will, right? What could make this any better? And already halfway through the first stage, and Chase Burrow is dominating this thing. 2 seconds over Ryan Millington. Hey, we're on the fly.
Right.
Yeah. We're gonna go stage 100 laps. We'll have a generic caution, if you will, right? Throw a yellow and re-rack them, restack them. Look at this battle now. There goes the number 10 machine. All this happening on the racetrack as we watch Chase Burrow moving through lap traffic. Man, what a run the 00 has right now. He's picking off cars one by one. He's already climbed and put Parker Eatman, Mason Bailey, Eloy Falcon, Connor Waddell a lap down here in the next couple of laps. And we're halfway in stage 1 as, again, just found out a moment ago, lap 100, we will have a caution for the stage.
That's gonna turn things and make things very, very, very easy. Stages are different, and these drivers, I'm sure, have prepared for it. The producer did not prepare for it. But the drivers, I'm sure, have prepared for it, and they're gonna. And the good thing is, Wesley Outland, you get 4 sets of tires. So, I'm gonna say at that lap 100, you're gonna see a lot of the field come down and take 4 tires. I mean, they're there. Why not use them?
All right. All this going on as we are continuing to watch Chase Burrow continuing to lead the way here at the virtual Southern National Motorsports Park. SNMpark.com if you'd like to know more information. I know they got a lot of great things planned for 2026. I found myself last night when I came home from calling football, 8 games in the last 3 days, Cody. Just looking at social media, and I saw where Michael Diaz was with James White and T-Max doing a video promoting the Thanksgiving Classic and all the work. And a lot of people don't know what happened, but there was a driver in the years past that I remember that night at the Legends race. The guy he got caught up in the catch fence. And that was a very interesting night, and it had to stop the entire rest of the Friday show. And I remember another time he was talking in the video about this year, the previous Thanksgiving Classic, Cody, won by Doug Barnes. By the way, Doug Barnes is in 15th now. And a driver hit the crossover gate, and he said that it broke it. They broke the crossover gate. So there was another massive delay in trying to fix and repair, obviously painting the walls. I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but if you go on their social media, Cody, they got a brand new LED flag stand. The thing looks like you're at Daytona now. When the green flag flies, the whole LED box flashes green. If there's a caution, it flashes yellow. Sponsor reads, all sorts of stuff. I mean, listen, those are cool things that I honestly think, as we still see Casey Burrow dominating the opening stage with 60 laps, Max Cox off the pace on the bottom in third. But I think these are the things, Cody, that not just the racing in general, but you have to do to make amenities and entice the audience to come and see the entertainment value in the sport. And the promoter's got to do that, right? I think that's really cool if you bring a kid to a racetrack and they get to look up and they don't see a bland flag stand, but you actually get to see flashing lights and you see all of the bells and whistles and the graphics. And, and in regards to painting, as a good friend of mine used to tell me, put a little lipstick on something can make something look better all over again.
100%. I mean, we'll show you there's the flag stand back in the day.
No, that's the old flag stand. That's the old flag stand. It ain't changed at all on the iRacing world. But if you go there now, you'll see an LED one. Matter of fact, I think he said they had just put that up. right before the race, but maybe iRacing will update. When they do their little updates and week 13 updates and server updates or whatnot, they'll be able to do that to this one as well. So Chase Burrow, he is dominating this thing, everybody. Audience of the world on Elevated TV. It is Ryan Millington back in second, but he is 3 seconds behind that man, that leader. And there he is amongst all the lap traffic chaos going on in second, third, on back as they work again the back straightaway, Cody.
Yeah, and I want to say, watching on YouTube, also live on too as well. So we just started doing that, trying to build the audience up again, and got a lot coming to you. As far as the virtual big races, I mean, we got the Snowflake, we got the Snowball Derby, the Christmas Clash will be the last race, big race of 2025, which it was just ran at Carteret on Saturday, so yesterday. So we seen Cody Kelly win that one, and Jacob Stanton won the Legend race. So good shout outs to them, and that'll be our last big virtual race on Elevated for the year, and then we come back in January, and we'll have the New Year's Bash at New Smyrna. This will be what, the second or third annual, Wesley, I think.
It'll be the second time we've done it. Remember, we did it last year. We had, like, obviously, you said Michael Diaz is watching, Ron Barfield and Bill Flynn, and they were actually intrigued in it as well. And matter of fact, Ron Barfield said about, man, this is really cool that we're able to do something with street stock cars on iRacing. Maybe we could try to make it a part of like a preliminary thing for their big race. But yeah, January the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is the 16th annual New Year's Bash. Of course, I am honored to announce it again. It's my 13th out of 16 years calling. I only missed 3 years, Cody, if you remember, because I was doing television at the Ice Bowl at Talladega, and 1 year I think there was a snowstorm and they had to reschedule it, and I had already had another commitment and couldn't go. But I've done 13 of those 16 events, and I mean, this will be my 14th, and I love being there for that event, and it's a great bunch. And they're adding dirt late models on pavement.
You got the Asphalt Nationals, the Legends Asphalt Nationals is going to be at Dillon. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to. We're actually taking 2 cars down there for that, so we'll be there as well. So I'll be down there around that time. I think it's in August or September or October, somewhere.
No. The Legends Nationals will be in November. of 2026. Yeah, I've already been asked to clear my schedule and make sure I can be available for that one. I think it's November the 14th, 15th, and 16th is what they were saying. And they're actually talking about like opening up parking a week before, kind of like what Diaz does at the Thanksgiving Classic, right? Normally they come in the week before Thanksgiving, and next thing you know, you got 100 RVs and parkers and haulers all over the place. And
it's just like weekend. They have to open parking up a week early because they have people. They do a video of the first camper that comes in, and usually they're there the Monday before the week, almost a week and a half before the race. So, it's crazy that people take time to come to a racetrack, and I'm sure as like Charlie Shaw and Mike Diaz and Ron Barfield, the track owners, I'm sure it gives them a good feeling knowing that people want to come a week and a half early or a week early to camp out to watch their races at the racetrack.
No, I think it just makes it show that they appreciate the event, right? I've done this for 30 years next season. Been a part of racing ever since a kid, been announcing since 13. But I will tell you this, I think we're on a change in the racing world. I don't think racing is going to die, but I think it's on a trend of changing. And I think these big events is what's going to put money in the promoters' pockets, right? But the key is these big events also cost the promoters a lot of money. So in doing so, you gotta support them. You gotta support the big racing. Whether you've had a falling out with the promoter, or you agree to disagree, or you have a differences of opinion, If you don't support the tracks, you're the problem. If you nag on social media and complain about facilities, you're the problem. You got to find a way to find common ground and support your local racetrack, because if you don't, they're going to disappear. Fayetteville is gone. Clary's is going to be gone in the next year because of a grandfather clause. Rayford, Rockfish Speedway is gone. There's another track up in Pennsylvania. Was it New Egypt Speedway, I think they said, is closing their doors. If you don't support these racetracks, or if you complain about them, promoters are going to throw their hands up, Cody, and say, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. Yep. And if we don't support them, they're not going to be able to do these big events, right? And I think if we don't support weekly racing, you're going to just see big events like the Thanksgiving Classic or the Cars Tour or the South Carolina 400 or the Martinsville or the Hickory Fall Brawl or any of these events. That's the only way they're going to make it. Well, guess what? Promoters can't make it only doing one big show a year.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Southern National, they got Speed Week.
Being honest.
Classic. You know, they got, you know, the I-95 showdown. I mean, they got all them big events. Then you got, like, you know, Anderson Speedway up here. They've got the Red Bud. They've got the Little 500. They've got the 904. They've got the and I just seen the Red Bud. They're not even doing supers this year. It's going to be the Anderson Sportsman late models this year, the local weekly class. So that's going to be interesting to see. They basically said that the supers weren't doing what they wanted to. They weren't bringing in the cars they wanted to. So they're trying something different this year.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
The Red Bud 400. I've been on the announcing team for the Red Bud 400 before at Anderson, Indiana. And I remember when it used to be on a Monday, right? I remember when it used to be on a Monday. You got there on a Saturday with practice, and then you did all the practice on Sunday, and the race was on a Monday afternoon. And you know, the Rick Dawson and all the great people had an amazing race. And you had 40 or so super late models. But, you know, look, here's the deal. Those cars are expensive. And it's becoming scarce. I'm not trying to say anything bad. Look at the Snowball Derby.
Right.
You had 70 close pro late models for the Snowflake 125, and you had 43, I think, super late models, if that. I mean, come on. When I done the Derby for 3 years with Speed 51 Racing America, we had 60 cars right
look
before
at the Winchester
COVID.
400. I mean, the Winchester 100, they had so many pro late models that I think they actually had to turn people away. And then they had, you know, I think 17 or 20 supers. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, then the sportsman class, you know, for the 40 lapper on that Saturday. I mean, they had 40 cars, 50 cars. I mean,
Cody, I don't want to cut you off, but we are closing in on the end of the first stage, buddy. And again, the reason why we're rambling about promoters and tracks and what we need to do for the future is because we're literally watching Chase Burrow from Virginia dominate this thing, and he's about to win stage number 1. Here he comes off turn 4, down to the line, 100 laps completed, and the first caution of the night. 25 minutes gone in this race is 100 laps completed. So for the people that were asking, you just saw a 100 lap late model race before the end of stage 1 and the caution thrown in 25 minutes, Cody. That's lightning.
Oh yeah, it's lightning fast. I mean, we watched them run a 75 lap harder race in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So
yeah.
I mean, it's you know, it's crazy, and this is what I thought right here. This is exactly what I was thinking.
Pit stops coming down pit road.
The only person that stayed out was Cameron Boland, but I think he's staying out because he's got that lucky dog. He's that guy on that first car that's a lap down. So he's getting his lap back here. I'm sure you'll see him come down pit road as well. Yep.
Yeah, Cameron Boland right there. Jones Utility 67 onto the pit lane. They're making pit stops. We're making pit stops too. I didn't want to get on a banner or a soapbox, and I just want to say this in closing as we show you that D&M Lawn Service Top 5. Like I said, if you nag or you complain on social media about racing, you're the problem. If you want to fix it, contact your promoters, say what you need to do to build it better. But don't bash the sport, because if you don't, you're going to see tracks more and more shut down. And support tracks like Southern National, Wake County, Orange County, just in North Carolina and all across the country for your weekly program. We're back in a moment. Stage 1 is done. Chase Burrow has won it. We take a break. Stage 2 is next at the Thanksgiving Classic.
Blue Line Soft Wash is a veteran-owned and operated company dedicated to bringing integrity and precision to exterior cleaning. Founded by a retired law enforcement officer, and we proudly back the men in blue. Blue Line Soft Wash upholds the values of service, commitment, and attention to detail in every job. Trust Blue Line Soft Wash to protect and enhance your property with the same dedication they once gave to protecting our community. Protect and serve. Protect your car with Blue Line Soft Wash today.
Back here at Southern National with the virtual third annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts from Kenley. The D&M Lawn Surface Top 5. There you see them. We still parade under the caution. The lights should go out on the pace car this time by. Along with Cody Deemers, I'm Wesley Outland. Choose rule has been chosen. A lot of drivers committed to the inside than the outside lane. Ryan Millington now back up in front, the pole man. Of course, Chase Burrow, stage 1 winner, is back to third. Put Keelan Harvick in the middle of them for second. Jamie York, Ronnie Bassett Jr., top 5, back to green. Stage 2 underway here in Kenley. Now remember, lap 125 is the halfway mark of the race. This will go all the way to lap 200 for stage number 2. And then again, Cody, they battle it out after a third stage of a 50-lap shootout.
Yeah, I think that 50 lapper is where you're going to see interesting. That's where you're going to see people that are going to push a little bit harder. And we've seen everybody, and Millington actually won the race off pit road. Burrow got beat by Millington and Keelan. So Burrow's got to fight his way back to the race lead after dominating the first 100 laps. And yeah, whoa, buddy. Oh, man. Let's rewind down the back straightaway, Wilson.
Keelan Harvick now the leader. He became the youngest driver in the history to win the Snowball Derby's portion of the Snowflake 125 on a cold Saturday, Sunday morning in Pensacola last week. How many people stayed awake? I did. I got a 75-inch big screen TV in my bedroom, and it looked like I was in a movie theater watching the Snowball Derby, qualifying and then the craziness of the long night there. So it was a good one. Of course, Keelan Harvick won it. He's in the lead right now here in this third virtual annual Thanksgiving Classic. And Harvick, Millington, Burrow, York, Bryant, top 5. Carson Haseland, we mentioned him earlier. Late model champion, Legends champion at Wake County Speedway. By the way, hey, did you see the announcement last week? Modifieds coming to Wake County next year, April 24th, the Smart Modified Tour. That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Winchester's bringing back the Thunder cars. I don't know if you remember the old Thunder cars from back in the day. They're bringing back the Thunder cars to Winchester this year. So I remember when I first moved here, the Thunder cars were the thing. I mean, you see a lot of them, but you know, everybody thought, the Crown Vic was going to turn into the new Thunder car, but Winchester said, no, we're bringing back the Thunder cars.
I know what's going to happen with these Crown Vics, man. I've seen where somebody's creating a Crown Vic series and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. I think I've seen now another one that's possibly in the works or trying to do. I just, man, we don't want to. I don't want to saturate the Crown Vic racing world, but they're fun and they're exciting. But I just don't think it's just. We don't need another rooster in the hen house, right? It's kind of like my thoughts of creating an IHRA, and now you got an IHRA late model series, and now you got Cars Tour, now you got Carolina Pro, now you got, I mean, come on, you know, yeah. but we'll see what they do. I mean, if I had a race car, I don't know, I'd probably run IHRA. They got a chance at a $2 million purse in the season. I mean, crazy. I mean, those are gangbuster numbers, Cody. People are going to be jumping at that because of the dollar signs in the deal. Man.
Yeah, the car stores.
Got a guy that's a multi-billionaire, right? A Durana, I think his name is, and he's done like changed the face of the drag racing spectrum, and then he's brought back IHRA powerboat racing, bringing the street street wars, like a street outlaws type drag racing bracket deal, bracket racing returning, the Nitro Pro-Am Tour, and now he's going to do something for pavement late model racing, and should be interesting. But I mean, I'm man, come on, you know. It's like if you have a racetrack and you live literally if it's 30 miles from each other, okay? Let's just say, for instance, verbatim, two different tracks, different layouts. But let's say Diaz has Southern National as paper. Been there for over 30 years, whatever, how long it's been, okay? Since the 90s, 91, 92, when it opened. Okay, so you go and let's say County Line Raceway. They say, hey, we're going to turn County Line, a dirt track, by the way, Cody, into a pavement track. We're going to turn County Line to a pavement track, and we're going to compete in succession against Kinley with their cars on. Their cars, their series, their fans, selling hot dogs, bologna burgers, what have you. You just ruined the racing population by doing that, right? And I feel like having these multiple series is going to do the same thing. It's now going to become survival of the fittest. Is Dale Jr. going to survive for Cars Tour? Or is IHRA going to come in and be the new kid on the block, right? And I say that in no disrespect, but it sounds like they're both successful, you know? And then you got a little man like our buddy Keith and Wendy Graham, Carolina Pro late model or modifieds. Are they going to be on the outside looking in? Are they not even going to try to compete anymore? Is it worth it to even compete anymore?
Yeah, you gotta weigh your pros and cons.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
It's just like all 30 minutes, speed or Winchester and Anderson, 30 minutes both ways for me. It's like, Winchester, but roadsters on the same race on the same day. I'm obviously going to go to Winchester because I like Winchester more. But at the same time, Anderson and Winchester should not compete against each other. I think Winchester does a really, really good job not competing with any tracks. I mean, that's why they race on Sundays. And I think that's why they have the Winchester 400 in October, because most tracks are done by then. I feel like, that's why they race on Labor Day, because nobody around here races on Labor Day, and everybody knows that that's Winchester's two marquee events. But if you have, a brand new racetrack that thinks that they're going to try to, put a race on October or Labor Day weekend, they're not going to, you can't do that, because Winchester's been here since God knows how long, and this is their marquee event. Obviously, everybody's going to go so that, I think two tracks got to work together. Yes, there is a lot of tracks. You got Lake County, you got Southern National, you got Coastal County, you got Carteret, you got Dillon. I mean, they're all right there on top of it. And I think and it's hard to sit here with only 4 Saturdays out of a month to not work against each other, but you got to do sometimes, I like the idea of what Mike Diaz does. This is on Wednesdays. This is a hard day. But
I think midweek racing is a great idea if you can structure it, schedule it, and not make it an all-night affair. And that's something that he's accomplished with doing it. And even the speed week thing, you got to think outside the box. Remember what I said earlier? As we're still seeing Keelan Harvick now dominate over Chase Burrow. Burrow's within a half a car length, but he's still been the guy that's led since the start of Stage 2. We're halfway home, by the way, and I can't believe this. We're heading to lap 150, which will be under 100 laps to go in this race. It's gone by rather quickly. It's been, for the most part, Chase Burrow Stage 1, now Keelan Harvick in Stage 2. Now we got a battle for the lead. Here we go. Burrow on the inside. Got a car on the bottom. That's going to be Lee Pulliam on the inside of the Junior Motorsports car, trying to hold off Burrow and Harvick to go a lap down, and they're going to go 2 for 1 on him with 100 coming up on 100 to go. But it's like when we talk about, Cody, the LED flag stand, the fancy things, the painting of the walls, doing the graphics, doing things for the kids.
Put your name on the wall when you win a championship, or where they were.
They're running out of room, by the way. But that's very creative, right? I mean, for sure.
I mean, the 76 ball to me is like a cool identity to the racetrack, because people are like, well, I want to go in that. I want to go look at this place. I mean, the bridge. I mean, what racetrack do you go to that has a bridge? I mean, it's like Winchester. What racetrack do you go to that has a tunnel under the racetrack? Things like that is what draws a person to a racetrack.
Well, here's something that I can tell you. Godspeed, obviously, to Bobby Watson. But when the man was living, and that I was on the announcer team with him doing operations and helping out with PR and announcing as well. But when he thought outside the box, right? Myrtle Beach Speedway, before it became closed down, Bob Lutz and Zacharias and them, they thought outside the box. They did midweek mayhem. They did Wednesday night races. They raced on
Winchester used to do Thursday night thunders, where they raced on Thursdays, and they were packed every Thursday night.
Yeah, I know that also Lucas Oil IRP had the ESPN midgets Thursday night thunder. I think you're getting them confused. It might have been it's Indianapolis Raceway Park, but maybe Winchester did do a weekly show. What I'm saying by that is we're, by the way, under 100 remaining, and we're seeing Keelan Harvick now start to pull away from Chase Burrow here for the lead, separating himself with lap cars. Is that promoters, tracks, got to find a way to promote. You know what? Listen, take iRacing. Find a way to maybe incorporate your big event in real life to draw attention for people from the virtual world that might not know about Southern National or another racetrack for that matter, Cody, and get them to do like a conjoined effort, right? I mean, like I said, like Barfield had mentioned one time, well, let's get together and let's do a virtual New Year's bash and put it with the real race, and Maybe the winner of the virtual New Year's Bash gets a free pair of tickets, or maybe we pay them $100. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can do something like that to spread the word. I mean, you know, even if you don't even give them money, give them a T-shirt, give them a hat. If there's one thing I've learned in hyping up the crowds at races across the country, is people love free stuff. So if you give them something for free, they're going to come at it like a dangling carrot to get it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like they won the lottery, honestly.
I'm just being honest. I'm not being hypocritical here. It's the truth. I mean, it's you know, you say who wants free stuff, and the crowd goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Well, let's do something with the Thanksgiving Classic or the New Year's Bash or the Christmas Clash. I'm sure Bob Lowry would be excited with the idea of it, or any of these guys. Bill Mullis, man, good friend Bill from Langley, Larry King Laws, Langley Speedway, when we done like a Hampton Heat. Maybe we reach out to the promoters, and maybe that's something that we need to do and say, listen, this is what we're doing. This is with your track on the iRacing world. You'd be surprised, Cody, how many promoters or people I talk with, and they don't even know what iRacing is, or they're not aware of it, or they've heard nothing but negativity about it, so they shut it off.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you there. I mean, a lot of people are obscure to iRacing. iRacing, a video game. You know what I mean? Like, they don't look at it as a simulation, you know what I mean? Because I mean, this is the closest thing to real life that some people can get to. And
if you went besides the brand new LED flag stand, that's, you know, not the Chick Finlay flag stand like you're seeing now from back in the 90s and 2000s,
my
right?
DS, you need to call every time to update it.
I mean, I'm just telling you, right? But if you went to Kinley and you saw it on iRacing and you saw this, you would say, holy cow, this looks just like the real deal. It looks just like the real track. And I can tell you this, and Cody, you know this as well, as we're closing in on 170 of 250 laps, under 80 to go in this race. And it's been very calm, right? We've had one caution for the end of the stage. I think we're trying to get to the end of lap 200, and that 50-lap shootout. All hell's going to break loose, in my opinion. But I will say this, though. I really believe, for that matter, that you go out and see iRacing, see these tracks, go and see them in person, and you're going to be mind blown. You're going to be like, it looks just like the real thing. Southern National, Kinley, Myrtle Beach, that's not there anymore. Hickory, South Boston, Langley. Five Flags Speedway. What other tracks can I think of that are on the start? I mean, you think of it. Dirt as well. Dirt, pavement, doesn't matter. You know, and there's guys that are real drivers, Cody, and you know this. Urban's probably done it. They get on the sim. I did an eNASCAR Australia broadcast last night. It was 600 miles at Talladega Super Speedway with my good buddy Nick Burling and the Burling Motor Group. He sold 600 cars with his car dealership, and he wanted to do a big race to celebrate it. We had Shane Van Gisbergen. Okay, he ran the race, and that's the guy that we know from, obviously, a 5-time Road Course Cup winner this year. Obviously competes in the multi-champion of the V8 Supercars in Auckland, New Zealand, Australia, and then, of course, running for Trackhouse Racing. But, I mean, here you go. There's a guy that's not running NASCAR for the moment, and he gets on the iRacing server, and actually he made he finished, I think, in the top 5 in the race. I mean, so you get experience. If you want to come to the Thanksgiving Classic, you want to get seat time to figure the track out, by the way, Cody, go on iRacing. Test it out. What is that? That's the old flag stand. Yes, it ain't changed. Where's the new flag stand at? You need to find the new flag stand picture. I know. You said that Michael Diaz is messaging with you or texting with you. Hi, Mike. Ask him to send you a picture of the LED flag stand. All right, well, there it is. That's the one I was bragging about because it's the first thing I saw. It's like a Catcher in the Rye, right? It's like the title of a book. That's the first thing I saw whenever I looked at some video stuff on social media of the Thanksgiving Classic. Granted, I haven't been to Kinley in a while. The last time I went was when Michael Diaz did that 50,000 to win late model race. Josh Berry won it. So, but we're watching Keelan Harvick audience running away with this one, and it's now a 2-second lead over Chase Burrow. Harvick, Burrow, York, Millington. Now Hayslip is starting to climb in the top 5. Carson Hayslip from Raleigh, North Carolina. There he is. 08 machine. I think Cody's doing some recon in the background trying to find that picture, or Diaz is sending it to him. There it is. There it is. Okay, that's kind of an idea of it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that new flag stand. I mean, it's awesome, right? For the 25th Thanksgiving Classic, look at the graphics that they had on the flag stand. And listen, if there was a yellow flag, it all went yellow. You saw yellow. If there was a green, you saw a green go across the L. You know what it reminded me of, Cody? It reminded me of Daytona International Speedway. At the start finish line, their flag stand with the light bar at the top, but their LED graphic flag stand. But like I said, those are things you got to do. You got to make things be entertainment-wise. You got to entice the audience. You know, not only are you watching the races, but if you're in the grandstands and all of a sudden you see something flashing, you see a sponsor, or you see the green and then the red, or you see the checker come across the LED board when the flag is waving, you're like, man, that's pretty darn cool. That's awesome. And here's the kicker, Cody. As we close in on 12 to go in stage 2, it's been all Keelan Harvick like Chase Burrow in stage 1 here. Here's the kicker. If you're a sponsor or you're a business in the grandstands, there's a good, there you go. There's a good view right there. And they just led to my point. You see BRC, okay? They got nothing to do with the Thanksgiving virtual race that we're doing, but it's on the flag stand. Look at that. Kinley Hardware for the 25th Thanksgiving Classic. But here's my thing. If you're a sponsor and you're watching that with somebody else's sponsor or seeing the graphics on the flag stand, Cody, you're going to say, I want my business on there. And it just don't have to be Southern National. It could be anybody, right? It could be anybody that comes up with those ideas. It's like a digital video board at a high school football or college game. You want to be a part of it. You want to be able to put your name as advertising with that. There it is again, Wilson County Tourism. Look at that on the flag stand. What are you doing? Just randomly snagging pictures? Is Diaz texting you or something? Well, I promise you, it's real. I mean, no, look at that. Carolina Family and Patio. There it is. Look at that. I think they were the ones that sponsored that big 25,000 win Legends race that he did last year. Under 5 to go in stage 2, by the way. We're coming up on stage 2 in a caution at lap 200. And we found something else. What are we doing? There it is. Look at that. Okay, see my point? So you're in the grandstands, Cody, and you see that flash up on your screen, or you go to the race for the first time ever and you see that pop up in your view on the flag stand. You're going to be like, man, that's pretty darn cool. How did they do that? But that's what you have to do to build the entertainment value of the sport. Just like Wake County Speedway with the video board, right? I mean, that took that to a whole other level. I tell people all the time, going in my 6th year next year as voice of Wake County Speedway, or one of the announcers. I don't want to say that I'm the voice because it's a team of people, lead guy, if you will. But for 6 years, you know, when they put that video board in, it took it to another level. And, I mean, there's just all sorts of fun things that we do there. All right, here comes Keelan Harvick across the line. You don't see the digital yellow flag on the flag stand, but the flagman is waving the caution from the old Finley flag stand. There you go. Do you remember that, Cody? I mean, that's exactly what it looked like.
I actually have a picture of Travis crossing it to take the checkered flag in 2014. That's how old that flag stand is. I was just a
Chuck Finkler flag stand, and I remember. I mean, I guess I'm not really unveil how old I am. I remember when Charlie Rizzo and Andy Gay were the flagmen at Southern National, and they were up in that flag stand, that same view. So, yeah. That's pretty cool, though. All right, stage 2 is done. We've already passed the halfway mark, and it has been sheer domination by 2 drivers. Stage 1, Chase Burrow from Virginia, California, Carolina kid, Keelan Harvick in stage 2. And now we get ready to open up pit road, if they choose to, Cody, and take out the final 50-lap stage. This is where I think it's going to really get exciting. It's shootout time to determine who's going to win the 3rd virtual annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. Pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. We got 47 laps to go in this one, and it's going to be for sure good one. As Podium is going to get the wave around. There you see him getting his wave around. So he'll be the lucky dog. He'll get his spot back, his laps back, and we'll extend the green because they were coming to the green flag there.
Well, that's going to let us step away and take a break, everybody. So we're going to be right back. Stay with us. 45-lap shootout, stage 3. When we come back, Southern National Thanksgiving Classic. The final shootout to determine the winner is next. And we're back here at virtual Southern National Motorsports Park. The field will be looking for a green flag when they come back around this time by. Shootout time, under 50 to go. 43 to be exact when they come back. It's like the one to go indication will be given this time. No, we're still under caution. Okay. We'll actually get ready to turn them loose next time by, I think. Oh, well. I guess the race director said, cut the lights off, pace car driver. We're coming to green now. There you go. All right. Listen, you can control all that, right? It's just we're not going to make any more caution laps. We're coming to green now. Back underway. Here we go. Shootout time to determine the Thanksgiving Classic winner on the restart. We're ready to roll. It's been Harvick and Burrow. Stage 1, Stage 2, and would you have it any other way in this 3rd edition of the virtual Thanksgiving Classic right there, stride for stride. Burrow back to the lead in 1 and 2, Cody.
Yeah, Harvick drives away from him, and Millington, your pole sitter, sitting back there in third. And the guy that started on the outside is back in fifth, but Harvick trying to run down Burrow. It's been the Burrow-Harvick show all night long. Harvick trying to reel back in Burrow. Down the front straight away we go. We're closing in on 30 laps to go, Wesley Outland.
4 cars single file with Burrow, Harvick, Millington, and Hayslip. And then you got Ronnie Bassett Jr., Jamie York, Matt Cox, by the way. He had problems early in the race, fell back. Now he's getting contention in the top 10. All this going on now. By the way, only 14 cars on the lead lap of the 20 to 21 that started. And right now, Burrow, yeah, look at this now.
It's up. It started dead last, Wesley. It's dead last. He has made his way to the top 10. Jamie York for that 8th position on the outside, that white and black number 71. Also, look at Carson Hayslip. He's moved up 12 spots, Wesley Outland. He's up into the 4th position looking on Millington.
Yeah, impressed with obviously those guys. I mentioned Carson Hayslip earlier. Good solid run. That's going to be a young hot shoe, man. I'm telling you. What did he win? 13 races in real life at Wake County this year. He's a former late model and Legends winner. Champion as well. We're under 35 to go now. This is where it's time to shoot out and get your chess pieces and pawns in order for checkmate. As right now, it's Burrow. Pole man, Ryan Millington. I don't want to say he's not got a shot. He's been comfortably hanging back in the top 5. Right behind Hayslip down. It sneaks to 3rd. Millington back to 4th. And Bassett Jr. in the top 5. Look at this scrum of traffic battling back into the corner. Big log jam of traffic down the back straightaway. Somehow we hold it together going to 3.
Back. He's working his way back to the field. He's struggled all day though, so he's coming home on the lead lap in the 13th, 14th position. Passing Bolin, just past Jones, trying to make his way up through the field in that junior motorsports number 88. I think this is something you may see Bolin come drive for junior motorsports.
Yeah, it definitely was a fun to see him back again, obviously, and had a pretty good run, I think. But solid effort. Very happy for Doug Barnes as well, winning the race. Right now, let's see where Doug Barnes is in the virtual race right now. He's currently in the last position. So the Air Doug Barnes virtual race is not going as he'd hoped, a couple of laps down. Either is Parker Eatman from Wilson, former Thanksgiving Classic winner a few years ago. Anybody remember that one? And Parker Eatman won that event. Him, a driver battling there with Tristan McKee. Tristan McKee got into a guy, opened the door, gave the lead to Parker Eatman, and Parker Eatman was able to sell away to win the event. Tristan McKee for Spire Motorsports actually ran in the Snowball Derby and the Snowflake at Pensacola last Sunday. Or Saturday and Monday, actually. It was a Monday race. Yeah. Supposed to have been Sunday. Boy, what a disaster that was. Did you see how much rain and just how it's miserable? I'm telling you. Under 25 to go here in the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. Cody, I know you said you got snow on the ground and it's cold in North Carolina where I am in Smithfield. It's supposed to get down to 14 degrees tonight. But let me tell you.
It's 4 degrees. It feels like -3 outside right now as we speak.
Yeah, I don't like you. I'll keep that up there. I don't like this weather. That's crazy.
It was -13 last night, and I was outside playing in the snow. Okay?
Dude, Friday, when we were on the way to Kenan Stadium at Carolina to do football broadcasts, we were driving through the sleet and the snow. The next day on Saturday, yesterday, in Durham, at the football games we did, it was 65 degrees. And then it's down to 14 degrees tonight. I think it was 55 degrees this morning, and now the temperatures have dropped again. And people wonder why people get sick, right? I mean, come on. Under 20 to go, by the way. And by the way, let's take a look at what's ahead on your broadcast calendar tomorrow night, Cody. Matter of fact, let everybody know what we got coming up on Elevated. Starting tomorrow night, for that matter. I know I won't be on the call for it because I've got other broadcast obligations and things, but you've got an event tomorrow night.
Yeah, we got the Elevated 75 laps of NASCAR trucks at Eldora. You're taking asphalt guys and putting them on something that we've never even driven on. That's dirt. I think there's only like a select few guys that have even touched dirt on iRacing for real life. That's going to be interesting to see. I know a lot of the guys are excited. And then Thursday night, we go back for the Rolling Thunder. We got the Catawba 125, which is at Hickory Motor Speedway for the super late models for 125 laps. And then we'll have me and Wesley for Saturday and Sunday for the Snowflake 125 on Saturday and the Snowball Derby on Sunday. So that's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of stuff.
And probably, I know the Snowflake 125, we could do that on Saturday. Now, for Sunday, I know we could do it if we did it like we done tonight's Thanksgiving Classic. If we done it after like 8, 9 o'clock Eastern, probably, because I've got football in Greensboro next Sunday, so it'll have to be after. But nonetheless, this one is coming to a commencement with Chase Burrow back up in front again. And how about this? Keelan Harvick is now a second back. You gotta wonder, Cody. Was Keelan Harvick, is he losing handling? Is his car going away? Tires going away? Chase Burrow, was he playing possum and saving that car in stage number 2? As right now, he sets his sights on Cameron Boland, trying to get around the Jones Utilities 67 machine. Look at that, oh boy, look at that angle. That's awesome right there. Man, and let me tell you something. Speaking of that view, that's exactly what the entrance of the racetrack looks like coming off of Newsom Mill Road.
You have to say you got the main road there. And when it panoramas to the backstretch, there's actually a house over off in the, like you can see off towards turn number 4. So yeah, that's about what it sees. And the parking lot is a lot more packed than what you see there.
Do you see the trailer? Do you see the trailer that's at the front of the parking lot? That's real. It used to be there. You see, I mean, it's still there, is what I meant to say. I remember when it used to be there as a kid. It's been there a long time. People live there. The little play plaza that you see behind the grandstands, right? That's all there. The souvenir trailer from the great late Mike Ray and Miss Hot Rod. You see it up against the grandstand suites on the left stands from the view. You can see it. I mean, it's so awesome that you can see it. Yeah, there it is right there. Godspeed, our buddy Mike Ray. Miss him to death, man. Just such a great guy. And we go down to the end of this race, guys, and you see the Room of Doom in the middle of the infield. And that's exactly what it looks like, right? I mean, that's exactly what the tech building looks like. So I love the aerial views, but we got to zoom back in on the finish because we got 5 laps to go, and there's Chase Burrow. And he is running away with this thing, everybody. He's about to win. And what would it be now? The third different winner in our virtual Thanksgiving Classic. Last year, or the first year was the driver, if you remember, it was Dick McCaskill. Yeah, sure did. And there wasn't stages at that time either. Final lap, Dubby Energy, 1 to go. Dubby Energy, final time. Ladies and gentlemen, 3-4-3. Third different winner of the virtual Thanksgiving Classic. Virginia's Chase Burrow in 00. How about that? So listen, and I know there wasn't a lot of cautions as far as crashes, wrecks, but we had 2 cautions for the end of the stages, but still a very entertaining 250 lap race. By the way, done in an hour. That's great.
Yep.
We dropped the green just before 9:30 for the big race, and it's done before 10:15, 15 after 10, or 10:18 to be exact. And there is the pyro and the fireworks and the celebration, and now you'll head to the Room of Doom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See right there. Zoom in. Show it again. Yeah. There's a crossover gate, by the way, that got broke. The virtual crossover gate, but the real crossover gate got broke, and they had to fix that during the real Thanksgiving Classic a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, there it is. Look at that awesome view, man. All we need to do now is update the. We need to update the LED flag stand. I think they fancied up the motor, the Alex Hayden Broadcast Center. That's all fancy, all made up now. Looks good. The Lee McCall grandstands. Put haulers in the middle of the infields. Put people around in the infield and stack them up like sardines, like trackside parking, and it would really, really look a heck of a lot better on the update for iRacing if they ever done that. But nonetheless, another good one in the books here at Kelly. I always like calling this event the virtual Thanksgiving Classic. It's always a fun one. It was a great race. It wasn't a wreck fest. We were inside. We were treated to some really good racing. Let's take a look at the results.
And I will say this before we look at the results. Last year it was I think we had 13 cautions. So.
Yeah, a major improvement. It's Chase Burrow, by the way, picking up the win. He's the winner and makes the third different winner of the Thanksgiving Classic presented by Irvin Used Auto Parts. Killen Harvick second. Carson Hayslip, what a run for the man out of Raleigh. Late model champion, Collegians champion. He's really good from Raleigh in the 08. He'll finish in third. Ryan Millenton on the pole. He finishes in the top 5 along with Winston-Salem driver Ronnie Bassett Jr., Matt Cox, Jake Bowman, Connor Waddell. Didn't Bowman start shotgun on the rear? I believe he did. What a run to finish in 7th from starting dead last. Jamie York. What a good run for him, but he fell back in the top 10. And also, Deke McCaskill, the inaugural winner of the virtual Thanksgiving Classic, joining also the winners of the past. He'll finish in the top 10.
Yeah, Bobby McCarty comes home 11th. The guy that started in the 3rd position, he rounds out the top 12. Cody Bryant, Lee Poyam, Connor Jones, Alec Meggs rounds out your top 15. Everybody from Alex Meggs a lap down or more. Parker Eatman comes back to 16th. Mason Bailey 17th. Cade Brown coming home with the 18th. Cameron Bolin. Eloy Falcon coming home in the 20th position. And then Air Doug Barnes finishing 1 spot less than where he started. 2 laps down in the 21st position.
There you go. And there's another look at that State Farm Chuck Finkla flag stand. And yeah, if you call that number, you'd actually speak to him. Oh, back in the day you could. I don't know if he still does the work or not. There it is. And again, 2 cautions at the end of the stages for 17 laps. And then, of course, 4 lead changes at the end. It was all stage 1 going to Chase Burrow, stage 2, Keelan Harvick. It came down to those 2 drivers. And then at the end, boy, Chase Burrow put it in the afterburners and never looked back in that 50-lap shootout and goes on to win the race. So that will conclude our festivities for the 3rd annual Thanksgiving Classic. The next big race coming up, obviously, we mentioned the Snowflake 125, the virtual Snowball Derby next Saturday and Sunday. And then, of course, another one you're looking forward to, I think it's the 2nd annual Christmas Clash. And we got to let Bob Lowry know about that one.
Yep. I'm gonna try to get in contact with Bob Lowry and see if we can't do like a giveaway on stream to the audience out there watching, and do 2 free tickets to a race next year. So see if we can't get something like that going to the audience.
No, that's a good idea. I mean, that's a good idea. Try to find a way to bring the real racetracks into the sim world and try to promote them, obviously. Maybe next year, Michael Diaz or Mason, they can put something together with you to try to make the 4th annual event be bigger, give away some kind of a gift or prize or something. So, yeah.
It blows me away that the Thanksgiving Classic has always been my favorite event. You know, it was the first ever big race I ever went to back in, 2012, I think. I don't even know how long it's been. I went with Travis in 2014. We won the front wheel drive or mini stock portion, whatever it was back then. That was the most eventful Thanksgiving Classic I ever did. To now, I'm on iRacing, broadcasting these races. Doing my own virtual style races, and it's awesome. It's exciting, and it's crazy to think though next year will be 4 years, the 4th annual. I mean, it's crazy. We're already doing the 2nd annual New Year's Bash or the 2nd annual stuff. I mean, it's I never thought that elevated TV would come this far.
By the way, I think I just mentioned earlier about just all the cool things that they've done. Man, we were talking about the LED fancy flag stand, all the amenities, the Lee McCall. There's the Room of Doom heading to Tech there. The Lee McCall spotter, grandstand, paying tribute and respects to him, obviously, for his accomplishments at Southern National. Alex Hayden, for all the announcers of the world, the MRN. One of the MRN lead guys. He started at Kinley. I worked with him for years there, and the Alex Hayden Broadcast Center. I even personally told him, "Hey, man, that's big kudos, and it shows what you've done for the industry. Obviously, to have something like that done for you." And speaking of Alex Hayden, he got hitched today. Alex Hayden took off to Las Vegas and got married. So congratulations, Alex, in closing. Wow, pretty cool. He got married. All right. Do we have the yes, sir moment of the race? Do we even have a yes, sir moment of the race? Cody, what is it going to be? I mean, I guess it's the restart when Chase Burrow said, nah. Hey, Harvick and Field, goodbye. I guess, right. Here we go.
Goodbye.
Oh, please don't sing. Please don't sing. Our numbers are dropping. Oh, no, I was going to say that obviously it's probably what it was. The yes, sir moment of the race presented by Elevated TV, that green flag on that third and final stage at the 3rd annual virtual Thanksgiving Classic. The launch from Burrow, getting around Keelan Harvick, and he never looked back. There it is. There's your yes, sir moment of the race. Well, I'm getting ready to get off here, man. I'm exhausted. It's been a long couple of days, 3 days, 4 days preparing for football, calling football, doing racing, doing a 600-mile iRacing Australia event this morning, and then working with you today, man. And actually, I'll be honest with you, your text is what got me woke up today. So I appreciate it. And
like I said, I didn't get home until almost 9 o'clock this morning, 8 o'clock this morning. Went to bed, got up, and here we are doing this, and I'm about to go right back to bed.
Hey, one more thing. Do you see the rubber build up? I mean, holy camole. Do you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Look at the rubber build up around this racetrack in closing. I mean.
And you've got to think, I have this set to where they race basically like they're in the same sim all 3 races. So that's rubber build up basically from 3 races, and that's a lot of rubber.
Yes, a lot of rubber buildup. I meant to say in closing for sure. But man, when it's all said and done, what a fun one. Hey, listen, follow always Elevated TV, Community Radio Network on the world of social media, and of course Elevated TV on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Don't forget they've got that race tomorrow, race on Thursday. I'll be back with Cody when I return from basketball and football on Saturday and Sunday for the a week later, I guess, rescheduled Thanksgiving Classic in the books now, and we'll get ready for the virtual Snowball Derby Snowflake 125 coming up next week. So, as always, for all of our amazing crew, thank you for everybody. Hey, thanks to Michael Diaz, and the awesome peeps at Kinley for checking out the broadcast. Mr. Brenton Irvin Used Auto Parts for sponsoring it. And you get a chance, come out to Kinley. I know they got the Speed Weeks. I know they got the Cars Tour in February. And we'll do it again on the iRacing World of the #1 motorsports simulation If you'd like to get a part of it, go to iRacing.com, and again, go to Elevated TV to keep up with our coverage. Congratulations, Chase Burrow, winner of the 3rd Thanksgiving Classic. Good night from Kinley. For Cody Deemers, I'm Wesley Outland. Have a great one. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you for the next broadcast as we wound them down for 2025. Good evening.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of Elevated Broadcasting. Elevated TV would like to thank all of our fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoy